theatre. There to meet with Shakespeare. I can bring only traffic calls. Anon! Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and fill the air.
Friends, Wichita's countrymen, lend me your ears. I've come to praise Shakespeare, not to... Anyway. Uncut Hours, welcome to the whatever annual Shakespeare birthday party. Oh, wonder how many good creatures there are here. How beauteous mankind is, oh brave new world that has such people. True happiness consists not in the multitude of friends, but in the work of choice. I count myself in nothing else so happy as in the soul remembering my good friends. And yet another friend quips. Age appears to be best in four things. Old wood best to burn, old wine to drink, old friends to trust, and old autumns to read. Imagination was given to man to compensate him for what he is not. A sense of humor to console him for what he is. Time is very slow for those who wait, very fast for those who are scared, very long for those who lament, very short for those who celebrate, but for those who love, time is eternal. Love all, trust few, do wrong to none. It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. The wheel has come full circle. A friend is one that knows you he knows you as you are, understands where you have been, accepts what you have become, and still gently allows you to grow. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, reap the candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, crying out. This is the excellent proverb of the world, that when we are seeking fortune, often in spite of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, the stars, as if we were villains on necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and treacherous by spiritual predominance, drunkards, liars, and adulterers by an enforced obedience of planetary influence, and all that we are yielded by divine trusting on. An amiable invasion of a whoremaster man to lay his guilty disposition to the charge of star. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man at his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 eighths. At first the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school, and then the mother, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's idol. Then a soldier full of strange jokes and beard like the pomade. Jealous in honor, sudden quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good cap and line, and eyes severe and beard formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The 6 8 shifts into that lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, a youthful who's well to say a world too short for his shrunk shank, and his wide, big, manly voice turning forth childish treble, pipes and whistles, and his sound. Last of all, that infant, strange eventful history. The same childishness and mere living. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. We know what we are, but not what we may be. Were I a king, I could command content. Were I obscure, hidden should be my cares. Or were I dead, no cares should torment me. No hopes, no hates, no love, no grief, no fears. A doubtful choice of these three which to crave, a kingdom, or a cottage, or a grave. To be or not to be. That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing it, to die, to to sleep. No more. And by sleep, to say, we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come? When we are shuffled off this mortal coil, it must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's humbly, the pangs of despised luck, the law's delay, the insolence of ox, and the spurns that paid merit to the unworthy taste, when he himself, like his quiets, make with the bed at the bottom? Who would farthest bear? To grunt, to sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the naked hue of resolution is sickly o'er with a pale cast of thought. And enterprises of great pith and movement, with disregard, their current turn away to lose the need of action. Now is that time of night, when the grave, all gaping wide, every one lets forth his sprite, from the church pathways to glove. 'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this wood. Now could I drink hot blood, and do such bitter business as the day was quite to look on. The courses of true love never did run smooth. Love is a smoke made with perfume sighs. If you love and get hurt, love more. If you love more and hurt more, love even more. If you love even more and get hurt even more, love some more until it hurts no more. Let me not to the marriage of true minds who is indifferent. Love is not love which alters when alteration finds, no moves with remove it to remove. No, it is never fixed mark, that looks on tempest and is never shaded. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth unknown, although his height be taken, loves not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be ever upon me proof, I never lived, no man ever loved.
Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of arms, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should fen, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But, pardon, gentle Czar, the flat and raised spirits that have dared to bring forth on this unworthy scaffold so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? Or may we cram within this window the very casks that did affright the air at Agincourt? Oh, pardon. For since a crooked figure may attest in little place a million, let us, ciphers to this great account, on your imaginary forces work. Suppose within the girdle of these walls are now confined two mighty monarchies, whose high upreared abutting throats the perilous narrow ocean parts asunder. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts. Into 1,000 parts, divide one man and make imaginary puissance. Think, when we talk of horses, that you see them, printing their proud hoofs into the receiving earth. For it is your thoughts which now must deck our kings, carrying them here, there, jumping more times, turning the accomplishment of many years into an hourglass. For the which supply, admit me, chorus to this history. In prologue like your humble patience pray, gently to hear, kindly to judge our play.
Full of vexation am I with complaints against my child, my daughter. Hurry up! Stand forth, Demetrius. My noble lord, this man hath my consent to marry her. Stand forth, Lysander. And my gracious Duke, this man hath bewitched the bosom of my child. Thou Lysander, thou hast given her rhymes and hast interchanged love tokens with my child. Thou hast by moonlight at her window sung with feigning voice verses of feigning love. Stolen the impression of her fantasy. With bracelets of thy hair, rings, gods, neck, conceits, trifles, nosegays, sweetmeats, messengers of strong prevailment, in unhardened youth. With cunning hast thou touched my daughter's heart. Turn her obedience, which is due me, to stubborn harshness. And my gracious Duke, being so she will not hear before your grace consent to marry with Demetrius. I demand the ancient privilege about this, that she is mine. I may dispose of her, which shall be either to this gentleman or to her death, according to our law, immediately provided in that case.
Approach, Sir Andrew. To be up after midnight, to go to bed then is early. And to look your security, thou knowest.
Nay, my troth, I know not. But I know to be up late and to be up late.
A false conclusion. I hate it as an unfulfilled plan. To be up after midnight, to go to bed then is early. So that to go to bed after midnight is to go to bed betimes. Does not our life consist of 4 elements?
Safe, so they say. But I think it rather consists of eating and drinking.
Thou art a skeleton. Therefore let us eat and drink. Man! A stoop of wine.
Oh, here comes the fool in faith.
How now, my heart? Did you never see the picture we dreamed?
Welcome, ass. Now, let's have a song.
By my troth, the fool has an excellent breath. I have more than 40 shillings I had such a leg, and so sweet a breath to sing as the fool has. And so thou was very gracious fooling last night when thou spokest of liberal governments of the Palladians, passing the equinox of the flavor. It was very good. I sent thee 6 for thy leavement, hadst thee?
I did a petticoat, I retell thee. Malvolio's nose is no whipstock. My lady's hand. My lady has a white hand. Myrmidon, no bottle of ale.
Why, this is the best fooling all is done. Now, a song.
Come on, here's 6 for you. Let's have a song.
Excellent, me too.
Will you have a love song or a song of good life?
A love song, a love song!
Aye, I cannot for good life.
Oh, mistress, my where are you roaming? Oh, mistress, my where are you roaming? Oh, stand here, your true love's coming. That can take more time. Remember the British sweetie, mother in lovers' meeting. Everyone must know.
Excellent, good and great.
Good, good.
What is love is not hereafter. What is love is not hereafter. Present mirth and present laughter. What to come is still untrue. Indeed, there are no plenty. So come kiss me, sweet and
Very sweet and contagious and great.
sweet pigeon. Shall we make the welkin dance indeed? Shall we rouse the night owl and the catch that will draw 3 souls in one weaver? Shall we do that?
And you love me like Duke. I'm dog or catch.
Well, your daddy says some dogs will catch well.
Oh, sir. Let our catch be thou knave.
Hold thy peace now, knave, knight. I shall be constrained to call thee knave, knight.
It was not the first time I was constrained one to call me knave. Begin full. Begin full.
I shall never begin if I hold my peace.
Good in faith. Come, begin.
Hold my peace, and I beg you to hold my peace. Thou knave, hold my peace, thou knave.
Never mind, mistress, call up her manservant Malvolio and bid him take you outdoors. Never trust me.
My lady's a Keynesian. We are politicians. Malvolio's a Pegaretti. And 3 merry men be we. Am I not consanguineous? Am I not of her blood? Tilly Valley lady. Oh, there dwelt the man in battle.
Why, beshrew me, the knight's an admirable boy.
He does well enough of me disposed. And I do too. He does it with a better grace, but I do it more natural.
Oh, let's go pay
My masters! Are you mad? Or what are you? Have you no wit, manners, no honesty, but to gather like tinkers at this time of night? Do you make an alehouse of my lady's house? Squeak out your coziest catches without any medication or remorse, or voice? Have you no respect of personal place or time?
We did keep time, sir, in our catches. Stand up.
Nay, good Sir Toby.
Sir Toby, let me be round with you. Although my lady harbors you as her kinsman, she is nothing allied to your disorders. If you can separate yourself from your misdemeanors, then you're welcome to the house. If not, if you'd like to take your leave, she is very willing to bid you farewell.
Farewell, dear heart, let needs be gone.
Nay,
His eyes do show his days are almost done.
Is it even so?
But I will never die.
Okay, there you lie.
Shall I bid him go?
What then if you do?
Shall I bid him go and spare not?
Oh, no. You dare not.
Out of tune, sir. You lie. Art more than a steward? Dost thou think because thou art virtuous there should be no more cakes and ale?
Yes, my son, and ginger something.
Thou art in the right. Go, sir, rub your chain with crumbs. Mariah, a sip of wine.
Mistress Mary, if you value my lady's pleasure, nothing more than disdain, then you will not give leave to this uncivil rule. She shall know of this.
don't shake your ears.
Come. I'll go burn some sack. 'Tis too late to go to bed now. Come, night.
Go, I won't wake you. Hot discontent and sour affliction meet playfellows to keep you company. There's 2 of you, the devil make a 3rd, and threefold vengeance tend upon your steps.
Cease, gentle queen, these execrations, and let my sufferer take his heavy leave.
Thou woman, and soft-hearted wretch, hast thou not spirit to curse thine enemy?
A plague upon them! Wherefore should I curse them? Curse kills not the man makes grown. I would invent as bitter searching terms as curse and harsh and horrible tears delivered through my fixed teeth. My tongue should stumble in my earnest words. My eyes should sparkle like the beaten flint. My hair be fixed on, and I every joint seem to curse and bear poison. Be their drink, their chiefest prospect, murdering bacillus. Their softest touch as smart as lizard skins. The music frightful as the serpent's hiss. All the foul terrors in dark sea and hell.
Sweet mother, thou dost torment thyself
curse away a winter's night. We're standing naked on a mountaintop, we're biting cold but never lets grass grow, and think it but a minute spent in sport.
Oh, let me entreat thee, cease. Give me thy hand, and I may do it with my mournful tears. Oh, let the rain of heaven wet this place to wash away my woeful longing. This kiss that be printed in thy hand, that thou wilt think upon it by the seal, for from 1,000 sighs of grief for thee, I will repeal thee. Or rest assured, adventure to be banished of myself. Banished I am but from thee. So go, speak not to me, even now be gone. Yet, even now, two friends condemned, embrace and kiss, though we're 100 times to part and die. And so farewell, and farewell life with thee.
Thus is poor Suffolk 10 times banished, once by the king, and 3 times thrice by thee. So Suffolk had thy heavenly company, for where thou art there is the world itself, and where thou art not desolation. I carry no more. Myself no joy and naught, but that thou livest.
My maid, what is this world but wherefore omit I an hour's poor loss? Omitting Suffolk's exile and my soul's treasure, I go! The king thou knowest is coming, if thou art seen with me, thou art with dead.
If I depart from thee, I cannot live, but in thy sight to die. But a slumber now. Here can I breathe my soul into the air, and cry for thee to close up mine eyes, and have thee with thy lips to so stop my mouth. To die for thee were but to die in jest, but for thee to die were torture more than death. Oh, let me stay, befall what may befall.
Away. The party be a fretful corrosive is applied to a deathly wound. To France, sweet Suffolk, for wheresoever thou art in the world, I'll have an iris to seek thee out.
I go.
Oh, take my heart with thee.
This way fall I to death.
This way for me.
Who's there?
Come in! The wish deserves a welcome.
Dear sir, a long well visit you again.
Most holy sir, I thank you.
My business is a word to his father.
And very welcome. Look, Signor, your sister.
Provost! Bring me to hear them speak where I may be conceived.
Now, sister, what's the comfort?
Why, as all comforts are, most good indeed. Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intends you for his swift ambassador, where you shall be in everlasting leisure. Therefore, your best appointment, make with speed. Tomorrow you set off.
Is there no remedy?
None, but such remedy as to save a head, to leave a heart in twig.
But is there any?
Yes, brother, you may live. There is a devilish mercy in the judge you'll implore, that will free your life, but fetter you till death.
Perpetual durance?
Ah, just. Perpetual durance. A restraint. Though all the world's vastity you had to a determined scope.
But in what nature?
In one such as you consenting to it would part that honor from that trunk you bear and leave you naked.
Let me know the point.
Why do you fear thee, Claudio, and I quake? Lest thou a fever's life shouldst entertain, and 6 or 7 winters more respect than a perpetual honor. Fearest thou die? The sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor field thou we tread upon in corporal sufferance find the pain as great as when a giant dies.
Why give you me this shame? Think you I can a resolution fetch from flowery tenderness? If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in mine arms.
Fear's fate, my brother. There my body is great in utter forth of voice. Yes, thou must die. Thou art too noble to conserve a life in base appliances. This outward facing deputy, who settled this into deliberate word, nips you to the head. Folly's done to me was thou conduct foul. Yes, he does. His filth within being cast, he would appear upon the sea of hell.
The
well to damn his body to invest in cover and frenzy guards. Dost thou think, Claudio? If I would yield to my virginity, thou mightst be free.
Oh, heavens. It cannot be!
Yes. Tonight's the time that I should do what I abhor to name, or else thou diest tomorrow.
Thou shalt not do it.
A word with my life. I have thrown it down for your deliverance as frankly as a pig.
Thanks. Here, Isabel.
Be ready, Claudio, for your death tomorrow.
Yes. Has he affections in him? That can make him bite the law by the nose when he would force it? Sure, it is no sin, or if the deadly seven, it is the least.
Which is the least?
If it were damnable, he being so wise, why would he, for the momentary trick, be perturbably fine? Oh, Isabel.
What says my brother?
Death is a fearful thing.
And shame life, I hate you.
Aye, but to die and go we know not where. To lie in cold obstruction and to run the sensible warm motion to become a needed plod. The delighted spirit to bathe in fiery floods and to reside in thrilling regions of thick-ribbed ice. To be imprisoned in the viewless wind and blown with restless violence round about the bended world. Or to be worse than worse than those that lawless and certain thoughts imagine howling. 'Tis too horrible. The weirdest and most lowest worldly life that age, hindering imprisonment can lay on nature as a paradise to what we fear of death.
Alas, alas!
Sweet sister, let me live. What sin you do to save a brother's life? Nature dispenses with the deed so far that it becomes a virtue.
Oh, you beast! No faithless hell, no big honest wretch! Wilt thou be made a man after my advice? Is it not the kind of insect to take life from thine own sister's shame? What should I think? Heaven shield my mother, plague my father fair, for such a warped split of wilderness ne'er is she from kinsborn. Take my advice. Die, perish! Might let my bending younger 3 feet from thy face it should proceed. I'll pray 1,000 prayers for thy death. No word to save thee.
Hey, here it is about.
Oh, my! Thy sin was accidental betrayed. Mercy to thee would prove itself a bond. 'Tis best thou diest quickly.
Oh, here he is about.
Vouchsafe a word, young sister. But one word.
What is your will?
Might you dispense with your leisure? I would by and by have some speech with you. The satisfaction I would require is likewise your own benefit.
I have no superfluous leisure. My stay must be stolen out of other affairs, but I will attend to a while.
Son, I have overheard what hath passed between you and your sister. Angelo had never the purpose to corrupt her. Only he hath made an essay of her virtue to practice his judgment with the disposition of natures. And she, having the truth of honor in her, hath given him that gracious denial which he is most glad to receive. I am confessor to Angelo, and I know this to be true. Therefore prepare yourself for death. Do not satisfy your resolution with hopes that are fallible. Tomorrow you must die. Go to your knees and make ready.
Let me ask my sister pardon. I'm so out of love with life that I will soon be rid of it.
Hold you there. Farewell. Provost, a word with you.
What's your will, Father?
Leave me a while with the maid. My mind promises with my habit no loss shall touch her by my company.
In good time?
The hand that hath made you fair hath made you good. The goodness that is chief in beauty makes beauty brief in goodness but grace. Being the soul of your complexion hath made the body of it ever fair. The assault that Angelo hath made to you, fortune hath conveyed to my understanding. And but that frailty hath example for his fall, I should wonder at Angelo. How will you do to content this substitute, and to save your brother?
I am now going to resolve it. I had rather my brother die by the law than my son should be unlawfully born. But oh, how the good Duke is deceiving Angelo. If ever he should return and I can speak with him, I will open my lips in vain or discover his government.
That shall not be much amiss. Yet as the matter now stands, it will avoid your accusation. It may trial of you only. Therefore fasten your ear on my advices. In the love I have in doing good, a remedy presents itself. I do make myself believe you may most uprighteously do a poor wronged lady a merited benefit, redeem your brother from the angry law, do no stain to your own gracious person, and much please the absent Duke, if, peradventure, he shall ever return at hearing of this business.
Let me hear you speak, Father. I have spirit to do anything that appears not foul in the truth of my spirit.
Virtue is bold, and goodness never fearful. Have you not heard speak of Mariana, the sister of Frederick, the great soldier who miscarried at sea?
I have heard of the lady, and good words left with her name.
She should this Angelo have married, was affianced to her by oath, between which time, by the contract and the limit of the solemnity, her brother Frederick was wrecked at sea, having in that perished vessel the dowry of his sister. Oh, but mark how heavily this befell the poor gentlewoman. There she lost a noble and renowned brother, whose love towards her was ever most kind and natural. With him, the portion of her fortune, her marriage dowry. With both, her covenant husband, this well-seeming Angelo.
Can this be so? Did Angelo so leave her?
Left her in her tears, and drying out one of them with his comfort, pretending in her discoveries of dishonor, few in which she bestowed on herself, on her own lamentation, which she yet wears for his sake. And he, a marvel to her tears, is washed with them, but relents not.
What a marriage were to death to take this poor maid from the world. What corruption in his life that it will let this man live? But how out of this can she avail?
It is a rupture that you may easily heal. And the cure of it not only saves your brother, but keeps you from dishonor in doing it.
Show me how, the Father.
This poor maid hath yet in her the continuance of her first affection. His unjust unkindness, which in all reason should have quenched her love, hath, like an impediment in the current, made it more violent and unruly. Go you to Angelo, answer his requirements with plausible obedience, and follow his demands to the point. Only refer yourself to this advantage. First, that your stay with him may not be long, that the time have all silence and shadow in it, and that the place answer to convenience. This being granted in course, and now follows all, we shall advise this wrong maid to stead up your appointment. Go in your place. By this is the poor Mariana advantaged, your honor untainted, your brother saved, and the corrupt deputy scaled. The maid will I make fit for this offence. If you think well to carry it as you may, the doubleness of the benefit defends the sea from reproof. What think you of it?
The image of it gives me content already, and I trust it will grow to a most prosperous perfection.
It lies much in your holy heart. If for tonight Angelo retreat you to his bed with a promise of satisfaction, I will presently to St. Louis. There at the moated gradings resides the dejected Mariana, at that place call upon me. Quick, dispatch to Angelo that it may be quickly.
I thank you for this comfort. Fare you well, Friar.
Bless you, Friar.
And you.
What news of the Duke? What news?
I know of none. Can you tell me of any?
Well, some say he's with the Emperor of Russia. Others say he is in Rome. But where does he think you?
I know not where, but wheresoever, I wish him well.
It was a mad fantastical trick of him to steal from the state, usurp the beggary he was never born to. Lord Angelo dukes it well in his absence. He puts transgression to it.
He does well in it.
A little more levity to lecture would do no harm in him. What say you, Friar?
I say that all this is too general advice, and that severity must cure it.
That's in good sooth. But this Angelo, they say he was not made by man and woman after the downright way of creation. What thinks you, Friar?
How should he be made then?
Some report he was spawned by a seaman. Others some were got between two stockfishes. But it is certain, absolutely certain, that when he makes water, he's congealed by it. That I know.
You are pleasant, sir, and speak apace.
What a ruthless thing in him, for the rebellion of a codpiece to take away the life of a man. Would the Duke that is absent have done this? Ere he would have hanged a man for the getting of 100 bastards, he would have paid for the nursing of 1,000. He had some feeling for the sport. He knew the service, and that instructed him to mercy.
I never heard the absent Duke much detected for women. He was not inclined that way.
Oh, sir, you are most deceived.
Oh, it is not possible.
Who? Not the Duke can't throw a beggar of 50. His use was to put a ducat in her clactish. The Duke had profits in it. He would be drunk too, now let me inform you.
You do him wrong, surely.
Sir, I was an inward of his. A shy fellow was the Duke, and I believe I know the cause of his withdrawings.
What, I prithee, might be the cause?
No, pardon. 'Tis a secret to be locked between the teeth and lips. But this I can let you understand. The greater file of the subject held the Duke to be wise.
Why, no question but he was.
A superficial, ignorant, unweighing fellow.
Either this is the envy in you, folly or mistake in the very stream of his life, and the business he hath held must upon a warrant need give him a better proclamation. Let him be but testimony by those bringings forth, and he shall appear to the envious a scholar, a statesman, and a soldier. Therefore you speak unskillfully, or, if your knowledge be more, it is much darkened in your malice.
Sir, I know him and loved him.
Love speaks with better knowledge, and knowledge with dearer love.
Come, sir, I know what I know.
I can hardly believe that, since thou know not what thou speakst. But if ever the Duke return, as our prayers are he may, let me desire you to make your answer before him. If it be honest what you have spoke, you have courage to maintain it. I am bound to call upon you, and I pray you, your name.
Sir, my name is Lucia, well known to the Duke.
He shall know you better if I made it to report you.
I fear you not.
Oh, you hope the Duke will return no more, or you imagine me too unhurtful and opposite. Well, indeed, I can do you little harm. You'll forswear this again.
I'll be hanged first. Thou art deceived in me, friar. But no more of this. Canst thou tell me whether Claudio die tomorrow or no?
Why should he die, sir?
Why? For filling a bottle with a tongue dish. I with the Duke we spoke of will return today. Young tethered agents would unpeople the province with continency. Sparrows must not build in his house eaves, for they are lecherous. The Duke would have dark deeds darkly answered. He would not bring them to light when he will return. Mary, I tell you, this Claudio is condemned for untrussing. Prithee, friar, pray for me. Oh, well, I say to thee again, the Duke would eat mutton on Fridays. He's not past it yet. And he would mount with a beggar, though she smokes of brown bread and garlic. Say that I said so. Farewell.
What king so strong can type the gall and the slanderous tongues?
What's he then that says I play the villain? When the advice is free, I give it honest. Probe the thinking and indeed the course to win the war again. For 'tis most certain the inclining as the moment to subdue in any honest suit. She's quite as fruitful as the free elements. And then for her to win the war, were to renounce his baptism, all seals and symbols of redeemed sin, his soul is so in fetters to her love that she may make, unmake, do what she lists, even as her appetite shall play the god with his weak function. How am I then a villain to counsel Cassio to this parallel course directly to his own good? Divinity of hell. When devils will the blackest sins put on, they do suggest at first with heavenly shows, as I do now. But while this honest fool plies Desdemona to repair his fortunes, and she for him pleads strongly to the more, I shall pour this pestilence into his ear, that she repeals him for her body's lust, And by how much she strives to do him good, she shall undo her credit with more. So I will turn her virtue into pitch, and out of her own goodness make the net that shall enmesh them all.
Signor Antonio, many a time and oft in the Rialto you have braved me for my monies and my usances. Still, I have borne it with a patient shrug, for sufferance is the badge of all my tribe. You call me misbeliever, cutthroat dog. You spit upon my Jewish gabardine, and all for use of that which is mine own. Well, it now appears that you need my help. Go to them. You come to me and you say, Sherlock, we need monies. You say so? You that did void your room upon my beard, and did foot me as you would a stranger cur over your threshold? Monies is your suit? What should I say to you? Should I not say, had the dog monies? Is it possible that a cur can lend 3,000 ducats? Or should I bend low and in a bondman's key with bated breath and the humility of weariness say to you, fair sir, you spit on me Wednesday last. You spurned me such another day. Another time you called me dog. And for these courtesies, I lend you thus much money.
Noble lords, go to the rude ribs of that ancient castle, through brazen trumpets and the breath of parley, to his ruined ears, and render thus: Henry Bolingbroke, on both his knees, doth kiss King Richard's hand, and send allegiance and true faith of heart to his most royal person. Hitherto, even at his feet, to lay my arms in power, provided my banishment repealed and lands once more fully given. If not, I'll lay the summer's dust with the showers of blood rained from the wounds of slaughtered Englishmen, the which, how far off from the mind of Bolingbroke it is, their crimson tempest should but drench the fair green fields of King Richard's land, my stooping duty shall tenderly show. Go, render him thus, while we march on. Let us march without the beat of threatening drum, that from this castle's tattered battlements they may peruse our fair appointments. Methinks King Richard and myself should meet with no less terror than the elements of fire and water, whose thundering shock tears the cloudy cheeks of heaven. Be he the fire, I'll be the yielding water. The rage be his, whilst on earth my waters shall rain. On the earth, but not on him. March on, and mark King Richard how he looks.
Dauphin, I am by birth a shepherd's daughter, my wheat untrained in any kind of art. Heaven, and our gracious lady, hath it pleased to shine on my contemptible estate. Lo, whilst I waited on my tender lands, to sun's parching heat displayed my cheeks. God's mother, deigned to appeal to me, and in a vision full of majesty, willed me to leave my base vocation and flee my country from calamity. Her aid she promised, and assured success and whereas I was black and swart before, with those clear rays which she infused on me, with beauty I am blessed with what you see. Ask me what questions thou wilt, and I will answer, unpremeditated. My courage try by combat if thou darest, and thou shalt find that I exceed my sex. Resolve on this, thou shalt be fortunate, if thou receive me for thy warlike mate.
I am so crushed.
I do think it is the husband's fault if wives perform. Was if they slack their duties and pour our treasures into foreign lands, or else break out in hideous jealousies, throwing restraint upon us, or say they strike us, or scant our former having in despite. Why, we have goals, and though we have some griefs, yet have we some revenge. Let husbands know their wives have sense like them. They see and smell and have their palates both for sweet and sour. What do they do when they do change us for others? Is it sport? I think it is. And does affection really? I think it does. And is it frailty that thus heirs? It is so true. What have not we affections, desires for sport, and frailty as men have? Then let them use us well, else let them know the ills we do. Their ills instruct us so. Oh, my lord, I have been so affrighted. My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet with his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings foul and gartered and down jied to his ankle. Pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so hideous in purport, as if he had been loosed from hell to speak of horrors. He comes before me. He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he the length to all his arm, and with his other hand thus over his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last, with a little shaking of my arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so hideous and profound as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and his being. That done, lets me go, and with his head thus over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went without their help, and to the last ended their life on me.
This horse that crooks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits, that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fell me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come, thick night, and hold thee in the dullest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor him peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, halt.
We shadows have offended. and all admitted that you have but slumbered here while these visions did appear. And this weak and idle thing, no more yielding but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest cock, if we have honor and love, now it's the